talking, start doing. Stop talking, start doing.
You're looking to be more creative and innovative?
Hear the beats.
And one of the keys to unlocking your potential is an entrepreneurial mindset. I like to say permission granted. No one is successful overnight.
Keep on keeping on.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are at in the world. Thank you for joining us here on day 11 of 31 Days to PADITU with me, SEAN GRIFFIN. And I don't know about you, but I really, really like that song, Bootstrap for Life. It just gets me going. And you can check that song out on YouTube, Barius Kasu. Look up Barius Kasu. We had him on earlier, or last week, and world premiere, a second song of his, Keep On Keeping On. Both of them reinforcing positive, inspiring messages for those that are looking for a little inspiration. We have a great day for us, and we have a number of special guests. And I want to, before we get started and before we engage and visit with our guests, I want to talk about something that we're seeing more and more questions around, and that is focus. How do I keep focus? How do I remain focused? And so I'm going to share with you a visual thinking technique I use to help myself reframe and stay focused. And particularly today, I found myself, and yesterday I was doing it even, what do I need to focus on right now? And with so many different things pulling you in different directions, and it's important just to keep that eye on what is most important. And that's how I do it, right? Number one is, and Amy, can we go to my vision board here? Focus. What I do is I focus on what's number one. What's the number one thing I need to focus on? That's what I put first. Now, this doesn't mean it's the easiest thing. It mostly means it's the hardest thing. So what is the number one thing I need to accomplish that's hard, right? And generally speaking, I like to accomplish those things earlier in the day. The longer the day goes, the harder it is sometimes, and the more interruptions you have. Many of us are working from home now. We have children at home. That's more distractions, more difficulty to stay focused. So mornings are probably your best bet. If not mornings, late night after everybody's gone to sleep. So depending upon where you're at in that spectrum, I used to be a late night. I used to go from like 10 till 2 a.m. As I've gotten older, that shifted. I wake up now around 5:36 and get up the mornings, and whatever works for you and where you're at in the cycle of when the hours are best for you to work. Focus on that one hard. Then the second thing I do is I figure out, what's the second most important thing? This is important because I'm prioritizing simultaneously. It has to get done. These don't have to be work related. These can be home priorities or actions that you need to take to prepare for some activity you're going to do, whatever that may be. Prioritizing first, second, and then third. I know this seems easy, but it's not. Like, what's your third most important thing to accomplish? And then from there, I list a number of other areas to focus if necessary. But just like I talked about with the action planning, try not to have more than 3 major focus areas. The more focus areas you put your energy into, the less focus those areas receive. So remember one of the first things I said in one of our first shows, focus is the focus. Focus is the focus. And keep in your mind focusing on those things that you need to achieve or you want to achieve, and work at them daily. It's a one day at a time, one step at a time, and then 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time, 6 months at a time, and then eventually you got something, because it takes time. There's no overnight successes. Nothing happens instantly. There's no silver bullet. Norman Schwartz talked about this. No special pill you can take to get things done faster. It just takes time, dedication, and focus. I wish you luck with your projects and remaining focused. As a review, focus on number one, your hardest item. Number two, what's the second most important item you have to focus on? And then your third most important, and then some other areas if if you have those to focus on. But remember, the less you focus on, the more you will focus on what you need to get done. Amy, who's our first guest?
Hi,
Boy, Nikki.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Thank you for this sharing. It's very useful for the entrepreneurs, especially in Vietnam.
That's
Yeah.
great. Well, you know
How
how to feel.
Mm.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. We just be back to normal after the lockdown of the COVID-19.
Yeah.
And today is the first day that the kids come back to school.
Fantastic. And how long have you been in Hanoi there locked down?
Almost 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
And this is your first day back. Wow. And that must be really exciting because it's a little quieter there now today.
The first day the kids come back to school, so it's very crowded and traffic jam everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's quieter at your house because there's less kids running around.
Yeah, of course.
Easier to focus.
Mhm. Yeah.
What's going on for you, Hoy? What can I help you with? What do you got going on there? I mean, just as a little background for everybody in the audience, Hoy is the executive director of the We Create Women's Entrepreneurship Center in Hanoi. This has grown into one of the most influential accelerators, incubators, gathering for women in the Vietnam area, in Vietnam. And Hoy has really grown into like a systems change entrepreneur, I'd say, creating all kinds of new opportunities and influence in changing policies and the ways people build businesses. So what would you like to share? What's on your mind, Hoy?
Thank you, Sean, for the nice word. I just tried to do my best. Yeah, actually, We Create Vietnam, we have been running it for 4 years. A lot of support from the EU Griffin was, and we have launched several like startup academy courses, and we entered the 5th batch of startup academy. Your guest yesterday is also one of them, and we have women entrepreneur who has graduated from the startup academy. They now look at their business model scorecard in with a better vision, with more systematic, and the most important that they have been connected to the mentor. So my questions to you is that we have developed a good mentor network here in Vietnam, but how we can expand that network internationally. Yeah, because many of our graduated entrepreneurs now they develop their business successful, building it at the first phase, and now they want to export to expand their markets. I think from now on there will be some more women entrepreneurs from Vietnam who registered your live, and they will asking you more question about export, import, expand the markets. Yeah, so we need more like a connection mentors globally. So how we can how we can develop that network.
Before I do that, so you've got a startup academy open right now, and there's some slots. There's some spaces available for businesses if they want to join, women owned businesses to join your current startup academy. Is that what I understood?
Yeah, we finished the registration.
Okay.
And selecting the
So it's fast. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that if there was an opportunity to promote that, we would do it here. Okay, growing your mentor network. So first of all, Vietnam is in a very good position with the negative, the positive side of COVID-19, with China going through what it's gone through. I'm sure, and we've seen many manufacturers moving to Vietnam. Vietnam has a very technological, great technological capabilities in its manufacturing and great networks for exporting and systems. So Vietnam's really well positioned in terms of quality and technological advancements. And so my first thought in this, related to expanding the mentor network, is starting to work within the Vietnam diaspora. So Vietnamese that have moved to other parts of the world, particularly those areas where there's desire for exports, US, EU, EAU is 3 examples off the top of my head, that there's Vietnamese that have moved there that could be valuable mentors and can help support understanding how to overcome cultural nuances and different legalities in terms of export import. So tapping successful, benevolent, mission-driven mentors who are Vietnamese and diaspora in other parts of the world, particularly where people want to export, is something, and that are in export, is something I would definitely be working to tap. The second thing I would do is look for mentors like we do, which are outside of Vietnam, that are not necessarily Vietnamese, but Americans, Germans, Egyptians, anybody who is really passionate about being supportive of entrepreneurs, and pull them into your network, particularly those that are supportive or have experience in export importing, like so much of Vietnam is positioned for. And I think about places like Pakistan, I think about places like India, I think about places like the EU that are all importing, exporting lots of things, and that they're going to be wanting more now, and they're going to be wanting more consistency in terms of quality. And so I think that that's also a shift. I'm going to pause there, but those are the 2 areas that and then because we're now moved into a situation like I'm here with you now, remotely online, those mentors are now open to you in a way that wasn't before, and they're getting more used to engaging online as well. And I'd add a third element because you got to have mentors who, when they go on a camera, they're not boring. That they know how to entertain, or they can add some level of excitement to the experience of being on a camera. Nothing worse than watching someone who's, yes, here's what you do. It's not going to work. So you got to have a third element when they're online. They have to be entertaining. They have to be high energy. They have to be quick and, more than just sitting there talking, which a lot of people do.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's a good advice. I will try that, especially exploring the network of Vietnamese mentors overseas, and also foreigners mentor. But also we also have to think, because we create Vietnam provide an inclusive environment for everyone. We encourage everyone to join us, every entrepreneur. So language could be one of the challenges.
And that's why I went. It's definitely going to be a challenge, Hoy, because it's a challenge, and I think we have an opportunity to do some coaching today, which will highlight that what can be a challenge in terms of language barriers, and that's why I was suggesting the Vietnamese diaspora as a starting point. Because you're just going to have a better experience out the gate, and then developing. So if it, as I've learned, it takes twice as long to coach somebody when you're having to deal with the language barriers that are associated with that. So you'd have to plan that in. But if you found somebody who was like the certain specialist in export import and had all the knowledge and all the wraparounds and all the techniques and ways to make that work, it would be worth bringing that person in and then translating for everybody, because they would be providing that specialized knowledge and skill set that you would that your audience would want.
Yeah. I think that's we will do that.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs, though, and as we've been learning here, and we didn't know what was going to happen when we started doing the show, as you know, Hoy, and it kind of came up fast, and here it is, learning as we go, is that there's a psychological component to this, which has always been there, right? And the power of your brain, the ability to focus, using your own will and determination. How do you overcome? How do you reprogram your brain? And we're doing a lot of that. I think it's important to, particularly with the Vietnamese business builder, to help them understand that having just the mechanical elements of what it takes to build a business doesn't necessarily translate into success, and that they also need to have the mindsets as well. And I know that you're working on that daily in Vietnam, and I just want to reiterate that. And I hope that some of the watch parties you've been holding and people watching are learning and realizing that, hey, maybe I need to be looking at a different element, my psychological well-being and my psychological presence and intentionality as I move forward. Are you seeing, what's the response you're seeing there in Vietnam to some of the discussions we've been having here on the show?
Yeah, from our entrepreneurs.
Yeah, from the entrepreneurs, because this is some of the information we've been sharing here has been may seem like it's not very entrepreneurial, but at the heart of it, it's the person who's the entrepreneur doing what they need to do to advance their endeavor.
I can say that it's positive, and the first feedback we have here is that they have very rare, very good chance to be coached by you. Even they are very small businesses, or they have built their business to certain stages, but whoever they are, they have chance to register a slot with you. So that's they appreciate, highly appreciate. But also I have many feedback. They say that they are afraid of the English ability, and you speak sometimes too fast for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yes.
I've been told that before, Hoy.
Yeah.
I need a reminder every once in a while. Well, good. And I think that that as we talked about before, it's doing it afraid, right? Do it afraid. And I think that those entrepreneurs and business builders that have been on have shown that there's benefit, and that all of them have received some kind of new insight or new direction. So it's worth it. And those that want to and desire to really take their business forward would be willing to come on and be live, just as you are right now. So and I'm a sweetheart, in the end, and wouldn't do anything to embarrass anybody. Maybe myself, but not a guest.
Yeah. Well, I have talked to the entrepreneurs have from Vietnam, have coached with you, and the two lady, the
impressive, very, very impressive businesses.
And they actually they all have the follow-up plans. We discuss how we can we can support them, implement the plan, and how we can connect them to more resources, mentors, so they can be more encouraged and believe that they can do it, and they can implement the plan. Yeah.
Good. Well, we're here as well, and so but we're also going to be following up with them so we can see what progress they made. Like in 2 weeks, we'll check in with them and see how they progressed.
Yeah, and also they want to ask if they have second chance to come back with other question?
Yeah, they would, but they have to give us an update first.
Okay.
I get to ask the questions first, then they can ask me a question. We have another guest to bring on right now. Is that right, Amy?
Hello, Song.
Hello.
Hi, Cha.
Hi, Miss Hoài.
Hello, and Nguyen, right?
Yes, you still remember me?
I do. It's good to see you. It's been a while.
Mhm.
Let me ask you. So, what's your question? Well, before you do that, do me a favor. Tell me what your business, your product and service is. Who's your customer, and how do you make money? 30 seconds.
Okay, my name is Tra, and I'm running a business of making quiet book, or you can call it cloth book.
Cloth books.
I sent 2 books to your son. Do you still remember?
My son still plays with that book.
Okay, so we have 2 market. One is domestically, and one is exporting. But we just manufacture the book, and but we do it under the retailer's brand, not our brand.
Mm-hmm. How many books are you selling a month, or were you selling pre-COVID?
Normally we sell from 600 to 800 books a month.
And are those all handmade books, or how are those books being made?
It is 50% um, industrial and 50% handmade. We use a laser cut machine to
Mm-hmm.
cut the details, and then we seal it.
How many different books do you have? What's your line of books look like? Like the number? Like I have 2 styles of books. How many styles do you have?
We have around 20 books, but besides that, we also make other products such as mask, fairboard, finger puppet, and even Christmas tree from this material, felt.
Uh-huh. So were you making masks before, or are you making masks now as a result of COVID-19?
No, the mask like Superman mask, not the mask to cover from COVID-19. Sorry, the mask
Oh,
for
so
kids.
license masks like Spider-Man,
Yeah,
Superman,
yeah,
Batman.
yeah, correct.
You license those?
My son like those.
No, no, no. Do you license those? Like, do you pay Marvel for the rights to make those masks?
No, I don't, but I have searched for it. As they are handmade product, the don't is license.
Hmm.
I check with Amazon.
What's your number one selling item? I got puppets, I got finger puppets, I got masks, I got books. What's number one?
Book.
Books.
This is the number one.
How many books are selling right now after COVID started?
We are still selling around 600 to 800 a month.
Still.
Yeah,
That's because people are home, right?
yeah, exactly.
And those are all domestic? The 600 to 800?
No, this is for the other market, such as Australia or New Zealand.
Where? I'm sorry?
Australia and New
Australia and
Zealand.
New Zealand. Uh-huh. How did you get into Australia and New Zealand? What was your ticket? What was the mechanism? Who did you work with to get into the Australia and New Zealand market?
Exactly, the customer find us, and I only work with the owner of the shop.
Mm-hmm. It's one shop, or she has a whole bunch of different shops?
This is different shop in
Mm-hmm.
its different countries.
So you're directly selling to the person who's selling the books in New Zealand, Australia, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
but because they are Vietnamese who live abroad, so they know me through the fan page in Vietnam.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I'm gonna say the same thing I said earlier as I'm listening to you is you want to find diaspora, Vietnamese diaspora in the countries you want to sell in, who are just like the woman or the lady you're working with in Australia and New Zealand. You need to find more of those people because they're the ones who are loyal to your product, right? They like it, they're committed to it, and they also have the distribution channels for your product. And so I think that you want that kind of loyalty, and you want to find that type of person. And maybe that person in New Zealand and Australia has somebody they can refer you to in the US, or ask them, right? And have you asked them for a referral to anybody?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
But
So that person right there in New Zealand and Australia is gold for you. They're
my son.
hello.
Hello.
Hi. No school for you today, I see. So my first thought in this is, hey, I like how close he gets to the camera too. Is that you want to find other Vietnamese in US, in EU, in UAE that have the relationships that want that product and have a way, can see a way to distribute it. That's your first step. The second one is, you know, my question about the felt you're using is around the dyeing technique, and does that, how is that dye? Is it safe dye? Is it you know that that's like non-toxic dye? Because I think that's going to be a real potential hang up, particularly in the US or EU markets. They're going to want to test that to make sure that green felt doesn't come off when Zane's chewing it in his mouth.
Our felt is safe, and it gets the certification of EN 71, the European Toy Safety Requirement.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there's any requirements in the US around that, but I'm going to go back to the fastest and most efficient way. And right now is the time to strike on this, because people are at home, they're looking for things to do. The other thing I would say is, so that's one way is to go find those diaspora that are connected into distribution channels that would have multiple stores that then would sell that product. That's one. Two, I would definitely come up with an online strategy. I would animate those books. You see, I got Gumby and Pokey back here. You know, he used to walk into books, and the whole animation was around engagement in books. Your books are fun. Kids love them. I would create some kind of online short videos or some online strategy that would teach people how to use your books better, because I'm sure I'm not using your book as good as it could be used, because there's so many different pieces to the books, and it has so many different elements. Some kind of online tutorial for parents, not kids, how to make your children smarter through your felt books. I can totally see something about helping kids be smarter, because it does. It helps them understand the different elements of cooking or animals or whatever it may be. There's a website called Monty Kids, Monty, MONTI kids.com, montykids.com. Montessori Kids. They run videos. When I pay a membership, I pay a monthly membership into this, and then they ship me Montessori toys every 3 months. So it's tied to the growth stages of Zane or any child, right? And you could do the same sort of thing where you sell a package, which would include finger puppets, masks, books, and they pay a monthly or a quarterly fee, and then you send this package with the toys and books and things that are associated with the child at that particular age. So it's an age kind of sensitive distribution of toys, and as they get older, they get more advanced toys. That is one cute kid. And so those are my two ideas off the top of my head. One, instantly find diaspora in other countries that are willing to and are interested, just like your Australian, New Zealand partner. And then two, start working on an online strategy where you're actually packaging up all of these and you're selling them and you're distributing to people on a monthly or every 3-month basis. Toys that they would get. You'd also have videos that would give tutorials on how to use those toys better. I will pause now and get some feedback from you.
Okay. About the first idea, because they are Vietnamese, so they can search for the other manufacturer, and because in Vietnam we have the same the price that we are selling for the book is low. It's not um, as it can be higher as a handmade product. So when I sell to them, the price could not be high. So it's a reason that I don't want to find the other Vietnamese who live abroad. I want to work with the foreigners because in front the foreigner highly appreciate the handmade product and they can pay for the good price. So that's the reason I don't want to work with the Vietnamese who live abroad because they know
Okay.
the price in
Yeah.
Vietnam.
But it still doesn't change anything. Like, you still have to find somebody you can trust, and somebody who can understand the cultural nuances or any language barriers that may be there. So it's some kind of combination, at least to get something started for some distribution. Things will change. So I'm not saying that, I'm not recommending go with a Vietnamese person. What I'm saying is you have to find somebody just like the person you have in Australia, New Zealand, in the US, and maybe multiple people like that in the US and EU and UAE. Whoever that is, that person needs to be trusted and referred. I would want them to be a referred kind of person from your network, so that you trust them. That's what's important. And then the second thing, and the bigger opportunity, is to figure out how to go online with this, package up your toys and all your different things you're manufacturing, and then distributing those to people over monthly, each month, or every 3 months. I could see easily, 1,000, 2,000 people, signing up for this, who would be willing to pay more money for the higher quality product. Particularly if there's video tutorials they get access to that would help them understand how to use these toys better. So 2 things. 1, immediately go find people who can help expand your distribution of your books and other toys. 2, find an online strategy that then opens it to the world, where there's a membership model where people are buying from you on a monthly or quarterly basis. Packaged goods, packaged up toys that you have, and books, which are lovely, right? They're beautiful, they're durable. Those are my ideas. Boy,
Can I have a question?
sure.
How could I do to make the other retailer who didn't work with me before have trust in our business? You mean like B2B, like B2B relation? Because with the new one, the only thing I can do is sending email, and the email usually goes to spam. So how could I get contact? No, I have contact, but how can I really get in touch with them and introduce my product?
Yeah.
For
Maybe
example, with
What I'm saying, and Hoy, maybe some clarification. You want to contact your Australian, New Zealand contacts and ask them, who do you know in the US? Who do you know in the EU? Who do you know in the EAU? Who you could refer me to that can be like you in that country? So it's a referral. It's more difficult to type up, to get people's attention, just cold calling. This is a referral situation, and you want to get referred. Tap all your networks you have to find those people in the target countries you want to go to, and then that's going to accelerate the ability to create a relationship. That's going to accelerate the opportunity for you to get more product out there, while simultaneously you are developing an online literal campaign to sell your product by packaging it up, having people become members and get their, it's all around create a smarter baby, create a smarter child, and buy these packages. And then every month or every 3 months, we send you this package. You're going to be able to sell a lot of those. And you could then create partners in the US who are distributing that for you as well through this membership model. But it also builds your brand, it creates more demand, and makes it easier for you to find distributors in the different parts of the world. So two-pronged approach happening simultaneously.
I already have a shop on Etsy.com. Do you know Etsy? Etsy is
Of course,
the
Etsy.
yeah. So the product are highly appreciated by the customer, but because we only do SEO with the listing, but we haven't done any marketing activity.
I'm gonna draw a picture. I'm gonna draw a picture for you, okay? Can we move to the vision board, Amy? Okay, here we go. We talked about focus earlier, right? At the beginning of the show, and this. I feel it like the unsaid element here is focus. And I know you're doing a lot, and you've got quality product, no question. But what I'm proposing you do, this is the action to take. Arrow, my action. You want to ask for referrals, right? Spelling errors happen. Referrals from trusted people. So these are trusted people. This is key. Trusted people. In this case, the number one trusted person you have, which is selling or buying between 600 to 800 books every month, is in Australia. That's one of your most trusted people because they're buying every month and they're distributing. That's what I mean by your most trusted. The second thing to do while you're working to expand distribution is develop your own web strategy. What you're doing is rich for videos, for live shows, but what I'm thinking to make it easier is, again, packaging your products, your own website, your own brand, and then people or outsource it to somebody else who wants to do this. But to start, you can start yourself. And what you're going to do is you're going to create 1 month or 3 month memberships where automatically it's shipping your products that you've got, a collection, not just one, your mask, your finger puppets, your books get shipped. And these people are reoccurring monthly payments, 3-month payments. And in that, what you're doing is you're developing your own content. So this is videos, live tutorials, lessons, and articles. This will build your brand, but it's not targeting kids, it's targeting parents. The parents are the target, right? Because parents are the ones who spend the money. Kids, I always like it when entrepreneurs say, well, who's your customer? My customer is those 5 and 10-year-olds over there. I said, when was the last time they paid you any money? Oh, parents pay money. So parents are the target, right? And so as you build this website, focus in on parents and what parents want, and make it easy for parents, because parents are looking to make their life easier. This can be an alternative to watching TV. You know, it's another alternative. It helps make them smarter is what I would focus on. It helps make a smarter baby. It's more intelligent. They're using more of their senses. They're learning faster. All your toys are learning toys, and that's where I'd focus. And that's what parents want. They want the smartest kid in the planet, right? The next smartest kid. And so this is what I'm saying to you. So it's two-pronged approach. Let me ask Hoy a question. Hoy, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Is her only online strategy currently Etsy? Is your only online strategy Etsy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a good one, and that's a very first great step. I mean, congratulations, you're on Etsy. Not a lot of businesses who are making products aren't. So it's a great first step. But I definitely would move into a more comprehensive, self-directed, owned online assets. Joining TikTok and doing some kind of cute thing with the book, and getting people's attention. Again, parents are the number one target. And I'm sure you would sell more, especially if you made it easy for me to get it on a regular basis where I don't even have to think about it. It just shows up and here it is. And oh, new toys, new lessons, that sort of thing.
Excuse me, son. I also post the video on YouTube and short video and picture on Instagram, but they nearly don't have any view or any follow. It's
You can't just post one time. You have to post, multiple times a day,
I know, but
definitely
like
multiple times a week, and then a month, and then a year. And so it's a consistency thing. And believe me, it's a new thing to me because I've been pretty consistently inconsistent with my social media, historically speaking. And so this is just a new thing. You have to keep going. You can't just put one video up and say, oh, only 20 people looked at it. Videos that I put up years ago, thousands of views now, but it took a long time to get those views. And so I think that, again, like I would try and focus in on, different media channels, get on TikTok, LinkedIn, or other kids networks, target advertising on Facebook to those, who are doing searches on things for kids to do. How do I make my kids smarter? They're going, you come up, and you will, over time, get people's attention. And then what will happen is people will talk about it. They'll refer it. So you could even, third idea, and we'll stop it here, create a referral program from your audience. So those that buy would refer, they get a discount. They would get a free month or a free package for every referral that they would give you. That incentivizes them to then refer you to new customers. Lots of ways you can go. You have a great product. You just got to think more online, and then you got to think about how do you leverage your current trusted relationships to get into other trusted relationships. Those are the keys right now, and you will go far.
Yeah, Sean, can I have some words?
Sure, of course, Hoy. Anytime.
The product that Cha produced, when we look at this, we can feel her love with her son, and we can feel that all her passions on those products. They are very creative. They care of the details, and they care a lot of how the children will play that and how they can benefit from those products. So from my point of view, I see that a great product that I can have for my child at those age. But I also understand that developing a strategy, the content strategy for small business and even medium business is very difficult, especially you don't have the profession, like the experience and the deep knowledge of that techniques. But I can suggest that in 2-3 weeks we have a session with Nikki Nguyen. You know Nikki?
Of course.
And yeah, and you can register. I can secure a slot for you, so she can coach you on editorial schedule, which
Sure.
is very useful.
You can do this.
Yeah,
I think the one thing that's important here, and I want to do a shout out. I say Michael Baines is here, Tariq, Dahlia, good to see you. The good news is this: most people around the world are in the same shoes. They're trying to figure out, what do we do? What do I do now? So it's everyone's in the same position, but leveraging the internet right now. And Dahlia has added some interesting insights in this. It's an online book club, right? But I'm saying it's more. So I want to go look at Monty Kids, MONTI kids.com, montykids.com, and use that as a model for which to build out a regular distribution where people pay a membership and then it ships automatically, and you build up that network, and you have 1,000, 10,000 people part of an ongoing reoccurring revenue every month that you ship out, while simultaneously you're distributing to stores and you're growing your sales overall, while you create these videos and tutorials for parents on how to help make their kids smarter by leveraging your toys, is very compelling and will work. And so it's a natural step in where things are going and where the change is. And so there's no reason not to be planning that today while leveraging trusted relationships. I can't emphasize this enough. You know, we all know people getting burned, particularly taking advantage of entrepreneurs who are not seasoned, are, you know, trying their best, and they're a target. You know, got a big target on their back. Hey, I'm going to take advantage of that person. It's important and critical to find those trusted relationships. And even when you do that, there will be people who will let you down. It's inevitable, right? People are not always good. And so you have an advantage. You're a woman. Women are much more intuitive. They pick up on instincts and they can pick up on things. If something doesn't feel right, it's not right. Remember that, right? It's one of the greatest lessons, because entrepreneurs time and time again will say, I had this feeling it wasn't right when it wasn't right, and they still went forward. And in some cases, it can destroy the whole business. If something doesn't feel right, it isn't right. Your best bet is to walk away, even if it's awful. It's a terrible thing to walk away. It's better than getting in trouble or finding yourself in a situation where someone's taking advantage of you and then really messes you up. And women have a better advantage. Men don't pay attention to that intuition the same way that women do. And I always encourage women and men to strengthen that and practice exercising that intuitive muscle, because that intuitive muscle is working in your best interest. And it's when we ignore it, don't pay attention, and let it slide, that we get ourselves in trouble. And so I think you're going to do great, Tra. And let's, as Hoy is saying, let's get back together. Let's talk about it some more. But right now, I want to know that you're going to go forward. You're going to go forward and talk to your person in Australia, New Zealand. Start there and find out who they would refer you to, and then work with Hoy. You've got some brilliant people in Vietnam who can help you with website strategies. And you want to make it American, though, right? Not American as much as like English, for those people who are going to pay more and are willing to pay more. So that's US, EU, right? And UAE are the three areas that I think of in terms of cash.
Yeah. And also, I just talked to a Vietnamese lady who now living in Norway, and she built an e-commerce platform that we can bring your product on there, and the buyers from Norway, Europe, they can contact you.
I mean, I'm just going to say, I think, you know, before I used to be all about jumping on other people's platforms, and I still think that there are times, like we use a platform here to broadcast versus making our own. But it's so easy to develop your own website and develop your own payment mechanisms now. It's better to own it. Still be on those. You can still be on those platforms. But if somebody's going to become a member, it's your brand. It's your website. Toys R Us, one of the fatal flaws of Toys R Us in the early days is they decided to use Amazon's platform to sell toys, their toys. Guess who was getting promoted on that platform? Amazon. Guess who's one of the largest toy sellers today? Amazon. Guess who's out of business? Toys R Us. So you want to create your own. I believe in this case, in this scenario, I would seriously consider your own website, your own platform in terms of just distributing. You can still market it pulls everybody back to your website from these other sales channels. But my feeling is you want to brand your product and then have people pay recurring fees in your own website versus another platform. This is my initial thinking right now.
I have been selling on Amazon since Christmas, but there was only 10 sales.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the videos, it's the marketing, it's the daily posting, it's the ongoing consistency around that, because otherwise it's you know, you're in a sea of other products, all right? And so it's trusted relationships that will help raise that up. And then it's you getting out there and promoting it through your own website through really engaging, fun, educational, short videos that make it interesting where the parents go, I got to have that book. I got to have that package. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get them to go, my kid's got to have that.
One question.
This is the final question.
About the video. It's true that for example the American when prefer to watch the video who, for example, if there is a kid on it, they would prefer to watch the video with a native kid than an Asian kid, right? The other who is selling abroad told me so. And it's not easy.
Yeah, I think I hear what you're saying, and I have worked with a number of businesses in Vietnam that their marketing materials are Vietnamese centric and would have to create new marketing materials because it's not going to resonate in, let's say, an American market. And so what I would try to do with these videos, again, go check out montykids.com. Their videos, nobody's in it. The toy is featured, the special items. So that way you don't have an issue with whoever. It's just beautiful hands. You got to worry about the hands being clean and nice, right? Because they're turning and they're making, and there's an explanation happening that's talking about what the parents can do with that toy and how to make it better for the child. That way you don't have any issues with any culture context. It's the toy doing the talking.
When trust my product more if there is a photo of, there is feedback of a photo like the kids playing with the book, but I at the moment I don't have any.
Yeah, time out. No kids playing with the book. No kids play with the book. Don't videotape kids playing with the book. You want to show the parents how to use the book, right? The kids know how to use it.
I got it. I'm talking about the feedback from the customer. Mm-hmm. Normally, the customer, when make trust in the product more, if they see the feedback of the customer who bought it and the kid use it.
That's right.
But I don't have any photo of the native kid playing with the book. They just took picture of the books only. So how could I get?
Hoy, I think it's important that you spend some time making sure that she understands what I'm talking about here, because I think there's a little bit of a disconnect. No kids. I understand kids are showing. That's great. If parents want to show the kids playing with the books and want to do that, your videos don't need any kids in it. What they need is how to use the book for the parents. It's a tutorial for the parents, not the kids. And that's the difference I'm talking about.
Okay. So I think the time is not enough, so I can talk with her later.
Yeah, you can. Right. This is recorded, so you can go back and the visuals are there as well. But you're in a really good position, and everything we've talked about is completely doable. It's just a matter of moving in that, and it really would be a pivot for you to go online, an online strategy, or an evolution of the online strategy while you continue doing distribution. So you're going to be fine. You're going to do great, and let's check in a couple weeks. Thank you so much, Tra. And Hoy, always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Keep up the great work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it now, wouldn't they? And that is a truthism related to entrepreneurship that stands the test of time. You've got to be thinking about different ways to distribute, how to maximize your product, and then if you are going to go online, you've got to create content and be posting daily. Otherwise, people aren't catching it. It doesn't resonate with them. It doesn't catch their attention because they're on at different times, and so it's just a constant practice to create content, but not just content for content's sake. It has to have value. It has to have a reason. It has to have a purpose that people then can engage with. With our friend Tra, we have such an amazing opportunity to help parents create smarter kids through her toys. So I would say she's gonna do very well. And to finally close this out, I want to go back to where we started, and that's focus. So even with TRA, it's going to be important to focus. We gave 2 areas to focus, 2 examples of areas for her to focus, and that is increasing distribution through trusted network referrals, and then 2, creating an online strategy where it makes it easy and reduces friction for people to sign up, pay money, and then get their product delivered to their house. No problems. All right, well, here we go. That's day 11 down. Day 11. We'll see you tomorrow. Same PADITU station, same PADITU time. Thanks to all my guests.
You got to never ever give up. Keep it up, keep it up. Never ever give up. Keep it up, keep it up. Never ever give up. Keep it up, keep it up. Never ever give up. Keep it up, keep it up.
Believe in yourself and you'll go far.